Hello, so I'm going to show how to debug my application, my Node.js application to be specific, using Docker. So this is the application I'm going to debug. For now, you can see that it is not active and it will show a connection error. I've not yet started the server, but that's what we are going to start right now. So when I close that tab and I come to my VS Code, I have some files here. There's a Docker file which points to port 5000, and I have some configurations here. These are the configurations for Docker, and I have a Docker ignore file and a Docker compose file. In accordance, I also have a launch.json file that is also a Docker configuration file for Visual Studio Code, and I have the Docker application installed. Here you can see my application, which is Node.js Docker. As you can see from my VS Code, this is the project name. So this is the image for my project. So before getting started, I I don't have any containers running at the moment. So I'm just going to come over here and I'll fire up a container to start the project without debugging, and you can see it calls to port 5000. This is in accordance to the Docker compose YAML file. You can see it points to port 5000. So when this runs to completion, get a container will be initialized. You can see the container here. You can open in browser, and you can see my hello world application being rendered. Just a moment. So there's my application. Now, if I wanted to start this application in debug mode, let's say I had to follow up on an issue or an error, I would first of all initialize the Docker debugger in VS Code, and it will generate a new container running on a different port. To be specific, this is a container that I would normally test my code and put breakpoints and try the blocks of code for any errors. So it's going to call upon Alpine to create a container, and when the container, the debug version of the app is bundled, it will appear as a container here just below this runtime container, this production container. So here we have our debug container fired up. You can see Node.js Docker /dev, and I can click it. I can check the stats, I can inspect, and I can check the logs. And we can see that this application is fired up at, let's come here and check the port number. It's running on port 9229. This is the debug port for application. We are going to fire it up to 9155. So this is the Node.js application in debug version. Yeah, so using that debug version, you can set breakpoints and check the code for breakpoints. You can check the volumes. You can try the code for errors. You can pause execution, and so on.